Cool. All right, let's do this. So today we're gonna do a Monat Reunion recap. You guys hopefully saw some of mine and Marcia's stories. Oh my gosh, this company does not play, y'all. Like literally, they like poured into us so much. Not just with the speakers, but just like the venue that they picked, the activities that they did with us, all on top of like obviously paying for our flights and accommodation, which I'm still mind blown from. Um, so just to let you guys know, reunion will start again, like the qualification period will start for the next one, 2025, in September, I believe. So load up your VIPs now because reunion's a little bit different to passport. It is all based on personal sales, so you don't really need a team. That's why I was able to qualify for it because the last passport trip, I didn't have many people in my team. But this one's all based on like your personal PV. And so doable, like 1,500 a month. If you just think about that and you break it down, it's actually not that hard. And that's what you should be aiming for anyways as a leader. If you are building a team, that 1,500 is really doable. And they're really generous. Like you only need 1,000 of it to be from new customers or customers, and then 500 of that PV can be from your own order, which is really good. And then I think it was like 6 new VIPs in 6 months. They may change the qualification requirements, but that's like generally what it is. And like 6 VIPs in 6 months, that's literally one per month. Like that's so doable. So you girls can definitely hit the next one. So I would start loading up your VIPs now for September, especially if you're not going for Tulum. Reunion is amazing, and they'll just do it in Australia. And you can take family with you, just probably just need to pay for their tickets. But let's get started. Let me see if you guys can see it. Can you see that? Yeah, cool, awesome. Let me just get this out of the way. Cool. So let's get straight into the hot questions of market partners sponsoring. So this is kind of like a mix of all of the people and all of the speakers. So I don't quote me or don't ask who actually said it because I don't remember. So the biggest question that everyone gets is, do you need a big following? So these are really good questions to just like remember, or the response to remember when new potential market partners come and they're like, oh, I don't have a big following. And I'm sure a lot of you girls had that at the back of your mind. I know I did when I first started in network marketing back 4 years ago. And my following has definitely grown since then, but you definitely don't need to have a big following to start this business. One of the ladies who was speaking, she was like, I've got influencers in my team with like over 100,000 people following them, and then I have someone with like 600 followers, and the one with the 100,000 followers can't even put a VIP through. Like she literally said this on stage. And can I just say that I've experienced that? I have someone in my team who has a really large following and she struggles with getting market partners or even VIPs. What is the difference? The biggest difference is the connection you have with your audience. We find that influencers don't really let people in. They kind of just share the highlights of their life. And they're not people focused. They're very much like them focused, if that makes sense. So the key thing that I took away from this is you need to show people who you are. So what makes, Kate individual, what makes Angie an individual? Like you guys will have things that everyone else in the team might not have. Yes, Angie, you're also a mom like me, but you're Colombian. I don't have that, right? I'm not married to a Kiwi guy. You have so many differentiating things that you can share with people. And when you get people involved in your life, like Jade, you can totally share your story about starting, doing all of your beauty stuff and then not going anywhere with it, and then finally getting an opportunity with this business to express that beauty side that you so love. It's so individual, and that really builds trust when you bring people along the journey. And we said this time and time again, and the top income commenter did say this: be relatable and not a walking advertisement for Monat. I know we share a lot, and we are encouraged to share a lot about the business side of things and the products, but you don't want to be known for someone who's just sharing Monat all the time. So share a bit about a family, share a bit about, your life and wellness, whatever it is that you're called to share. Make sure it's on top of Monat, not just Monat. Otherwise you're just going to be, boring, and you won't get the views, you won't get the follows and all of those things. The huge thing that they said that helped grow their followings was being vulnerable. When they first started, they had no idea what they were doing, and they actually spoke to their audience about it and said, hey, look, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm really excited to go on this journey. And, I don't have confidence, or I don't have the following, or, whatever the thing is unique to you, share that. So for Jade, if you are struggling with confidence, I know it's probably really hard to get online and be like, actually, I do have, I am struggling with confidence, but I'm doing this business to help me grow as a person. I think people will really appreciate being let in on that. I know, for example, when I was first a mom and I had a really hard day in that newborn period where I was like completely sleep deprived, I did a post and I was like, I'm just dying right now. And so many people messaged me back. It had nothing to do with Monet, but you just got to get the conversations going, and people relate to you more when you're a real person. So that's one of the things they said. And this is huge. So remove the influencer mindset and replace it with the business owner mindset. So you're not trying to influence people. Obviously, if you want to be an influencer, that's a different story. But you are business owners first and foremost. You're not going to be influencing people to buy. Obviously, over time, when they see that you're consistent, like you're consistently using the oil, or you're consistently washing your hair and showing people what you do, and you're showing them, the results, then you clearly influencing them. But you're not an influencer. You need to realize that you are a business owner, period. Like we are, you're managing your social media, you're managing your conversations, you're the people person. Like you're literally every single thing that a business needs to run, you are that in your business. You're an entrepreneur. Unfortunately, we have to do everything on our own to begin with until we get to a point where we can, earn enough moolah for us to be able to automate it or hire someone to do it for us. And that is the goal. Like we want to head there. Um, the next thing is also on market partner sponsoring. We've heard this a million times. Consistency is key, but I can attest to this. When I first joined the business and I finished Smart Start, I then took a massive dip in my business. Like I was so quiet for so long. Like I had tapped out my warm market. I was like, what am I doing? I'm not attracting any market partners. Like I was literally at like a standstill. But when you keep showing up and you keep following with those actions, results will come. It's like, I don't know if you guys remember seeing that image, and it's like that guy who's mining for gold, and he's like mining, and that there's this whole trail behind him of like the wall that he's mined through, and the gold is literally on the other side of the wall, and then he gives up, but it's literally right there. You just got to keep going. And I know it's really hard at times, and this is where you tap into the team, you tap into our community, into your upline, and communicate with them if you are struggling to be consistent, and we can give you that push if you need to. So set a schedule and be organized. Like I know with people who are 9 to 5s, people who are mums and, have other things on their plate, I highly recommend setting a schedule to work, and be organized. Like have specific days you follow up with like market partners. So on Instagram, I don't know if you guys have updated the app. They've got a new feature where you can actually change the label on your chats, and I have been doing that recently with all my new connections, and I've put them as leads. So people who I think are potential VIPs or potential market partners, and not just like friend conversations, I put them as leads. So it'll always show up rather than me having to like look for them. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen on Instagram, and you can like put it as lead. There's a couple of different label options. So some of them are leads, some of them are, let me see. They have like ordered, paid, dispatch. So this is obviously, leads can just be like VIPs or market partners, but if you can change it when they're ordered, if they become a VIP or a market partner, and then you can also edit them to become like whatever you want it to be. So I highly recommend doing that on your inbox if you do feel overwhelmed at times. And then people, when you reach out and they're left on that, that message where it's like, this person's Instagram doesn't allow you to send messages, put it in general. Just straight away put it in general, because you don't want that to be clogging up your like main inbox. Or people that have left you a red, put it on general. So just try and filter out your inboxes, because I noticed that when I'm sending out messages, a lot of people end up in my normal inbox, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, who do I speak to? So if you be organized with that, I find that it is really easy to continue conversations. So I think it was apologies for the the mess up in the words, the grammar, my bad. I think it was Jess Etchell. She is the top income earner. She said the easiest way to keep conversations going is to find common ground. So you're obviously talking to people that you relate to when you find new customers or new new market partners. You want to find that common ground, whether it's, food cafes, whether it's exercise, or you both love beauty, or you're both Latina, whatever it is. Keep that commonality, the topic, if you can. And she said there is power in the pause. So I know we all get left on red and then we're like overthinking, like, oh my gosh, like they've ghosted me, they don't want to reply to me. You can leave, a day or so pause, as she said. And she literally was like, don't act like a crazy ex-girlfriend and spam them. Be like, hey, why have you not replied to me? And like, keep trying and get the conversation going. Just leave it at that. When people ghost you, she did say, inquire why, like to yourself, like, why have they ghosted me? Are they busy? Have I said something that may have led them to be like spooked? Go back and like actually pick apart the conversation, because in that way you don't repeat it. Obviously, it can sometimes be the person, they're a bit funny or they forgot, totally natural. But if you're wondering why, if you keep coming up with the same roadblocks, try and pick apart the conversation and see what you've repeatedly done to get that reaction of ghosting. Um, and then they said person over product and less is more. So what she means by this is you don't want to be sending them 50 billion links. That's why we never send the website. And I know that's a learning curve for a lot of the newbies. Don't send your website because it's overwhelming. You are the professional. When you are signing up a VIP or a market partner, you tell them exactly what they need. Like with Ant, I told her she needs a success pack. She's going to get skin. She's going to get hair. These are the products that I think will be good for her. Done. If they have questions about it, obviously they're more than welcome to ask and you can answer, but you don't want to be sending too much information because it can be so overwhelming, especially when you're market partner sponsoring. Send them the link, follow up, see how they went. Don't ask them, what do you think? Ask them, what did you love and are you in? Always end with like a positive like response. When you say what did you think, people would be like, they can respond with a negative comment. You don't want that. Always ask, are you in? I would love to work with you. When can we start working together? Assume the close, assume that they're going to want to work with you because you're amazing. At the end of the day, they're working with you, not with me, not with anybody else. They're working with you. So of course they're going to sign up with you. Of course they're going to be in your team because you have so much to offer. They did say communication is key. And so that's why I'm really excited about this course that we're all doing together, because one of the weeks is communication, mastering the art of communication. And I think I do also struggle with keeping conversations going, especially if it's like a really bland kind of like vibe from the person. I know, Jade, it can be really hard. But either you leave that conversation and choose to end it, or you just move on to the next one. There's so many people online. You can find your customers and you can find your market partners. You just have to find the common ground and keep going. So the next one is, this one I had to have a complete slide on its own. Be interested, not interesting. People don't really care about you. Like they really don't care about how interesting you are. They just want to know that you care as a person. You have to be involved in their life and be like, oh, I didn't know you had this many kids, or I totally relate, my son does this all the time, or whatever it is that you can find commonality. Be interested in their life, because then that way they're like, oh, she's not just someone else that's just trying to sign me up. She actually genuinely cares about me. And I've heard so many people say this over my like 4 years in network marketing, like people want you to be interested in them. It's all about them. People love it when you stroke their egos. Because I know I do, but that's just me. So how to invite. Do you guys any questions before I move on to this slide? Cool. All right. So how to invite. This was I think who is it? Lydia. I don't know who she is, but she's got quite a big following. She said have a CTA on everything. So she really loves attraction marketing. She doesn't love like reaching out to cold people. She grew her Instagram with being really active online, and that's another way you can do it. So as you can see in this screenshot, she literally has, either a sticker, a little like ask me anything box on anything, a link on the hair quiz. Every single thing that she talks about with business, whether it's product or the opportunity, she has a call to action. So I'm going to try and implement that and see what happens. To be honest with you, I very rarely get much traction with my content. That's why I don't spend that much time on it. I'm more I get more leads when I'm in the DMs. But that's just me. It depends on you. And she said, lean into your own personality. Don't be a copy of someone else. And so she was saying, like, really put yourself out there. She did like these really funny reels when she first started, and she wasn't really sure how to do the real thing. She literally did what Selena does. She puts like a music thing over it, and then she like lip syncs like a TikTok, and then she dances silly videos with Monat products in her hand. And she said that's what she did when she first started, because she was so lacking in confidence. She didn't know what to say. She didn't know what to create. So she literally made a funny reel and then wrote everything in the caption. So that may be something for the people that aren't, confident in actually creating reels. You can do that. Like make it funny, make it like, people want to be entertained at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how you look. And she said, wouldn't you want to work with different versions of yourself? So imagine working with like, five more Nadej. Like you would love to be around people like you. Imagine working with, 10 other Angies, with a million kids and a Latina as well. Like you want to attract people like you. You can put reggaeton on your music and even you can even, do your reels in Spanish, girl. Like literally, you are very unique in our team because you have like a second language going for you. And same with Nadej. Both of you can do like you have so many options, not just being like mums, not just Bible college, not just business. You both have another language and both your languages are in countries that you can sell to and like have market partners. That's something we don't have, unfortunately. So put content out there that will actually attract someone like you. So what would Ange want to see? What would Kate want to see? What would Jade want to see? What I saw when I joined Marcia, I didn't really join because of her. I joined because of the products. So if you're someone who wants to convert your VIPs, then talk to the VIPs who want the transformation, who want the cheaper products, who want to get an income from this. And you have to talk about the business to invite. You can't just, rock up and not talk about the business at all and then expect market partners to fall out of the sky. Like you have to actually be like, hey, I do this. Would you be interested? I think you'd be really great because of X, Y, and Z. Like you have to actually talk about the business to people. You can't just like be quiet about it. Um, so this was really have a strong vision and review it daily, if not weekly. So where are you going with this? So I know Jade wants to go and retire in New Zealand with her partner, in the mountains with a little fairy cow. I forgot what they call the Highland cow, right? Kate wants to be retired, I reckon by like what, 30? Is that your goal? And you want to travel more, like literally, like what your vision, you need to show people that that's what you want. You need to tell them that this is where I'm going. So when I first started Monat, specifically Monat, because they did the trips at the time, Juice Plus didn't, I was like, I'm going to be one of those girls who goes on that trip. I don't know, I don't care where it is, I don't care which trip it was. That was what I put out there. I involved my audience in the sticky note things, and people were engaged. Like you'd be so surprised how engaged people are when you involve them. And I did it. So when you put your vision out there and you tell people, this is what I want to be, this is where I want to go. I'm not there yet. I don't know how the heck it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. People want to see the journey. They want to see if you're actually committed to stay the course. Otherwise, you're just going to be one of those people that just give up. So tell people where you're going, constantly network online, in person. Networking is the key to growth in our business, and you'll never know who you meet. So it's not just about networking because you want a customer or networking because you want a VIP. You never know who you're going to meet. You could literally meet your next rock star. You could literally meet, if you're single, Kate, you may meet a girl who will lead you to your future partner, whatever. You just never know. So always reach out. Like Krish added this guy that we sat next to on the plane from Thailand. He was so friendly. I was like, oh my gosh, you need to get in his DMs, and then I'm gonna follow him so it's not weird. I think he'd be a really cool mo man. Because I was like, he's cute. He's got really nice hair. I was like, you can sell. And he was saying he did like social media advertising back in Thailand. And I'm like, sweet. He's looking for money. I'm gonna slide in his DMs and see if I can get him on board. You never know who you're gonna meet. One of my prospects is a waitress that I met at a restaurant when I went out on date night with Krish, and I added her on Facebook because she said she liked my hair. You can literally just be like, oh my God, let's connect. People don't think it's weird. And it does take something. I was super scared, but she was really she was really receiving to it. So network wherever you go. And the thing is, be proud of what you do. I know when I was in Juice Plus and I was really a bit embarrassed, I was like, oh, I do direct sales for a nutrition company. Like I was very, very like, introverted. But when like you be proud, like you're really part of an amazing company. It started off with a family who were literally living in poverty. Like think about that. They're now what blew my mind was they were like they got an $80,000 investment and then they literally turned it into a $200 million investment. That is the family of Monat. So it's a dad, a brother, a sister, and the wife. Like I love that at the core, it starts with family. So you know that it's like, it's bigger than just money. They started off as a family doing Tupperware sales in Venezuela, and now they're one of the fastest growing hair care brands in the world. Like, I'm just shook. And this is why I got you girls to do this activity, capture your story in 60 seconds. Keep refining it, keep practicing. And I would challenge you, the thing that you guys posted in our chat, do it again, but post it on social media. And then add your link, or do a CTA at the bottom, because you need to be talking about your story at least 3 times a week, whether it be on Reels, whether it be on stories, whether it be on a live. People will miss your content because there's so many users out there. You need to keep refining it to a point where you don't even have to think, it just comes off, like it just rolls off your tongue. And especially when you're attracting new market partners, you can literally just voice note in 60 seconds your story, and you'll be able to communicate everything that you need without sending them like 50 billion voice messages. So that's how to invite. The next thing is social media. So one of the girls only posts reels. Unfortunately, Instagram really likes like static posts these days. And I would just literally do a photo dump of like your life. Then that way you can be relatable. And then keep your reels to like business or what do you call it? Product stuff. So one of the things that they said is, if like you're a mom or you're busy and you don't have time to create, like obviously when you're hair oiling, you're going to hair oil the next day. So you can intentionally like create content from that, or you can create content from like, doing your post wash routine. But capture, don't create. So when you're at home playing with the kids in a day, just put your tripod up and record. When I was at reunion, I literally put my tripod on the beach and I recorded me and my family hanging out. Like, and then I can add, I haven't posted it yet, but you can add like content, or sorry, you can add a caption to it. So don't go out of your way to create. Don't be like, oh my gosh, like I have to create this content. Then you never do it. Like you'll get so overwhelmed. So always capture, don't create. And then she said this, we have business owners, not content creators. We're not paid. I mean, obviously if you're UGC as well, that's fine. But we're not paid to go and create content. We're not content, unfortunately, unless you blow up, is not going to convert to grow your business. It will get you out there and it will get you like new eyeballs on you, but it's literally not going to get you the paycheck that you need. It's not going to get you the team that you need. I can tell you right now, I don't think anyone in my team, maybe except Nadej, found me on social media. Everyone else, I either, met in person, or I connected through a previous business, or I slid in their DMs. It wasn't because of an amazing piece of content that converted. It just doesn't. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. And then it said, create content we need to create intentionally, but literally just capture your day, add text, add music, and you're done. And write like a cute caption. So it could be like a day in the life of a mum, or in a day in the life of a Monat mum, or someone working from home, or whatever it is. People don't care. You can make your bed and people will love it. You can brush your teeth and people will love it. Add your Monat caption and you're done. Like, just keep capturing. Get a tripod. Like, you can literally get one for like $10 of Shein. Get a ring light and use your phone, and that's it. That's all you need to do. And then it takes like, when you get to a point where you're really comfortable creating reels, it will take you probably like a minute to do. Like, you can do it that quickly. It just takes practice. They didn't do too much on social media because I think a lot of the girls there had like those big ass like selfie sticks, and like every single one of them had a tripod just filming the entire thing. Like, it was crazy. I was like out of my league here. So this was Lydia's social media structure. So create one for yourself. So my Thursdays are usually my hair oil days. So I'll either do a live or a reel or a story with by hair oiling. So that's something that's consistent. People will see every single day or every single week, and they know it's my hair oiling day. I'll then the next day do my hair wash routine. So it'll either again be a reel or a photo of the post-wash products that I use. So it's pretty consistent. I don't really post before and afters. I probably should, but that's how Kat gets so much of her success. And then you can do product education. So it doesn't need to be talking about the same thing every single day, but in and around all of the things that you do share, like your coffee, your breakfast, your kids, your whatever, make sure you do talk about the business or the product at least once a day. And then depending on your goals, if you're trying to grow your team, then obviously post about the business every single day if you can. Or if you're trying to grow your VIP pool, then talk about products. But make sure you always have a CTA on everything. And I would go and create a reel on the weekend or create reels on the weekend and then just schedule it in your calendar. So you're not having to worry about that side of things. You just have to worry about your stories. What I do is I always draft my stories. So then that way it kind of looks like I'm always online, but I'm not. I just post this drafts that I keep like, and it just looks like I'm consistent, but I'm really not. Um, that's just my little hack. I've only got 9 minutes left, so I'll try and whiz through these and then you can hit me with questions. So some of the key takeaways, or one of the things that I think it was Tiffany Lowther, her story was moving. It was just, oh, everyone in the room was crying after this girl's story. She had sold all of her stuff after COVID, moved to a different state. And then her mum got cancer. She gave birth in the same hospital as her mum, who was getting like epileptic like fits on the floor below at the same time she was giving birth. And it was just so like you need to go and follow her. She was amazing. And now she just got directed this year. And then she said, why would you do anything that you're not obsessed with when you could die next week? And I know it's a bit morbid to say that, but that's the reality. Like, do you really want to go out of this world, doing a job that's literally like killing your soul? Why would you not want to do something that lights you up? And if this is if Monet is just a vehicle to get you to do something that lights you up, then let it be that. And then she said, a true leader shines her light on others, and it's not about you. One of the things that Jess Etchell said that really like stuck with me was she was like 4 minutes down from countdown for the end of month to hit SED, which I think is like the second highest rank. And they didn't hit it. Like she was so delusional that she was like 4 minutes in, I'm gonna hit it. And she wasn't upset the next day when it didn't clock over and she didn't hit her rank. She was in so much gratitude because she realized at that moment it wasn't about her. It was about her four girls that hit directorship for the first time. And I was like, wow, like you have to be like a saint to just like not be upset that you didn't hit your goal, but be in so much gratitude and appreciation that your four girls in your team, it was their moment. Like she was like, it wasn't about me. I have made the money. I have hit the ranks and my time will come, but it's about my four girls. I hit directorship. So when you're running for MMP, think about the person that you can help to hit MMP. When I hit MMP, it wasn't really about me. It was about obviously our team as a collective hitting it, a leadership rank, but also Nadej and Angie hitting MMP at that time. It was their time to shine. And same with, when someone else goes to the next rank, it's about the person below you, underneath you hitting, it's their moment to shine. When you can make it not about you, you literally will win. So there's just a few more things I need to share with you girls that I wrote on here. She also said trading the meaning of life for the promise of shiny security. And this was coming from someone who studies psychology and invested a long time in, higher education. And she said, literally, we were not meant to live 9 to 5. We were meant to live our life according to how we want to, not be stuck. Like, think about the trade-off. You're working 9 to 5, 5 days a week, and you only get like 2 days off. That for me is not a good compromise. That's just my opinion. And then she said the key also to growing on social media is going live 3 times a week minimum. And like I said, you don't need to talk about the business all the time. And 4 weeks. Exactly. What the heck? We've got 52 weeks a year and we only get 4 weeks off. Like it's a rip-off, guys. It's a scam, I'm telling you. And then she said, when you are self-conscious and you're like, oh my God, I don't look good, or like I can't do this because I'm insecure, I'm not confident, you're making it about you. And it's actually not about you. This business is not about you. Yes, we need to make the money for us and our families, but at the end of the day, who can you help to, get out of that shitty situation that they're in? Who can you help? If you can hit MMP, that you can literally hit SED, which is, I think, is the highest. And then she did say you're sovereign business owners. So at the end of the day, it's your business. No one can force you to do this. You here because you said yes. You show up because you said yes. You do what you need to do because you want to make a difference in your family's life first. And then obviously later on get to a point where you're helping hundreds, if not thousands of others do it for themselves. And then she said, your breakthrough will come. You just need to stay the course. So if you want to 10x your life, it comes with the bad as well. The hustle does come. And she said, I know there's a lot of people out there who's always in the flow and they just want to be like, oh my God, in alignment. And if it doesn't come easy, it's not meant for me. and that came to the destruction of her business. That's literally how she said it. And she said no, like, obviously that's why she stayed in Centrelink for so long, because it was easy. It came with ease. There was no resistance. That's why she lived in government housing for so long and she didn't change it, because working a freaking business is hard, and that's just it. It's not going to be easy. Doing anything is hard. Getting a degree is hard. Giving birth is hard. Things are hard when it's worth it. So, what are you doing? What are you doing this for at the end of the day? Are you doing this just because you're bored, or are you doing this because you actually want to make a difference? And I know it's like, it's tough, but you just got to get on with it, and stop making excuses. And you can have moments where you take a dip, but get yourself back up. Get back on the bike and start riding again. All of us had training wheels at some point, but we learned how to ride a bike. I'm assuming everyone knows how to ride a bike. Just saying. But she said, just keep going. And like I was so fired up after this conference, and I just think like, yeah, I know where I'm going, guys, and you gotta need to know where you're going to, and it's gonna take time, and it's gonna take, I think about when I was like 4 years ago when I started network marketing, I finally got to a freaking trip. What is next? Like, who is gonna come into my team next that's actually gonna be like the next, friggin' billionaire who can sit there and be like, it's not about the money now. I just want to help other people make the money. I'm like, okay, cool. I want to be that person. Just to think that someone who came from Centrelink and changed her mindset. Like, I'm shook. Like, she got 5 kids. And she was so humble. Like, I met her. She was on the same bus as me. She was just so chilled. She literally rocked up in Birkenstocks and like linen pants. Like, it was just so chilled. So I got 3 minutes. Any questions? That is me done. Sorry, I like word vomited on you guys, but there was a lot to like recap. Any questions? You got 3 minutes. No? No
I
question.
had a question, but I forgot it. So I
Oh, and
was going to mention it before, but then I was like, oh, no, I'll wait till the
Me
end.
too.
But now
I
I've
had a
forgotten it.
couple of
I remember,
questions.
I
I'll
think
get it.
seem like I would never earn as much as exactly. You would never earn as much as
Like,
CEO.
to me, like when people have explained it like to my friends and they're like, you're in a pyramid scheme. And I was like, but you support like Kmart. I was like, the checkout chick is never going to earn as much as the CEO. She can work for the rest of her life and she's never going to earn as much.
Literally
Like
fact.
to me, it's not worth. That's why I just don't really care about. Like I do care about my job, but I just don't
It's not your
put.
forever thing. It's not going to get you a
I
Highland.
don't put my whole life for that company because I will be replaced on Monday if I quit. So,
It's true.
or if something happened to me, like I'll be replaced. So it's
That's
fine.
facts. And also, did you know this business is actually you can sell it. So you can get to a point where you build it big enough that you can actually sell it like any other business. I didn't know that. And you can will it. I'm pretty sure it's willable. Like you can write it in your will for if you die, you can give it to your family member, which is really cool because that means they get the winnings or the earnings later on if you do pass, when you do pass. Yeah, I found that out. I was like, oh yeah, cool, cool, cool. Um, any questions other than that? Ange, did you have anything? Kate, did you have anything? Got a minute? No?
I did, but it's gone. Like Jade got so lost with this like into the other slides. But I did have a few questions, and I think one of them was
Hmm.
I think for me, I struggle to make it more relatable because I'm like, okay, how do I make this relatable? And then that's just where I'm at. Like yeah. But then like when you were pointing out being a Latina and having a Kiwi husband, I'm like, oh
We
yeah,
can I
like
think when we do the branding thing, branding strategy, we'll figure out your pillars. But I think you definitely should play the Latina card. Like that's who you are.
yes.
You literally can, it's something that no one else can you can ask Lucia how she does it. Lucia is really approachable. But you could attract a whole other market here in Perth.
Yeah, true. Very, very true.
Smile quickly. This is gonna end.